Hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to Sunless Skies, the early access of Sunless Skies. Please no. Please don't. Stop. Go away. Thank you. Yes, anyway, you'll pardon me for doing that, but, well, we did die to one of those last episode. So, I kind of want to avoid them. Although, now that I actually kind of understand the heat and how much heat each of my weapons generates, I might be able to actually, survive a fight with those things. Anyway, the last episode we discovered New Winchester, which I said was just adequately written, although in hindsight, actually pretty well. You get that taste of the mundane or the relatively normal, and then you discover the extraordinary, like Titania here, where we decided that we wanted to push them towards a vegetable aesthetic, or a floral aesthetic would probably be more accurate because they're on a, flower. Giant flower. With a lot of pollen, too. God, I would hate to have allergies. Please go away. I do not want to fight you. You are big and scary. Thank you. Anyway, we're going to be exploring Titania, and I'm really hopeful that that thing can't attack me while I'm at dock. Really hopeful. You have arrived at the pedal port, Titania. Valentine Square is the center of the commune's loosely organized public life. Here the mayor keeps her office, its walls hung with artists' impressions of plans to develop the port. The rhapsodic mayor invites you to sit with her on a bench. Have you ever seen anywhere so beautiful, she asks, inhaling the perfumed air. We'll fill our home with flowers, in our hair, in our windows, climbing our homes. But if we're to truly be a haven for the arts, we must embark on greater projects. Unfortunately, we're limited on space and working with no budget to speak of. We rely entirely on donations. Would you mind taking a look at our plans? Of course. This is kind of cruel. Perhaps another time, if they want the capital to build their port, perhaps they could get real jobs. Wow. Nice. No, we're going to hear her out. It sounds like an interesting proposition. And I like to support the arts where I can. She pecks your cheek and leads you to her small office at the end of the square, a building as makeshift as any on the frontier, but its sins have been covered with a fresh white coat of paint and a carved filigree enhanced by delicate colors. What is it with people and kissing me? Anyway. The walls are lined with blueprints submitted by the mayor's perfumed parliament. You've met our I still cannot pronounce this word. Aestheticians, but these come from our architects. We've submissions from every artistic school, the rhapsodic mayor proudly notes. The celestials, the nocturnals, the sovereigns. Nothing would delight my heart than to build them all. But we've not the foundations laid to support every project, nor frankly the money. And if I'm to assign public funds to one, the others will throw a fit, and the next thing you know it'll be civil war. But that's where you come in. If you provide external funding to a project, I may authorize it and see that it's built in peace. Well, first things first, we can write port reports again. Record the state of Pedalport. Of the Pedalport, rather. Titanian air is heavy with pollen, but sweet to the smell. A far cry from Albion's smoke-strangled capital. Yes. Money, excellent. Oh, I can actually afford these things? Oh. Neat. Well, Imperial Ballroom, a Saturnine Theater, or a library. Yep, we're going to the library. Always support your local libraries, kids. And adults. And elderly people. Whoever's watching, really. Support libraries. They're kind of great. Books upon shelves upon walls, all going ever upward. The sovereigns will dedicate this building to all that has come before. I'll have our laborers prepare the ground and task our merchants to begin sourcing histories to fill the shelves. Thank you. Consider other projects. Perhaps you don't like the aesthetic. Perhaps you wish to repair or destroy what you've helped to fund. Okay. So if I change my mind, there's an option to do so. Question, though. The construction fund? Yeah, you can actually sell things here. Ooh, thirsty bombazine. That was a pain in the ass to get in, Fallen London. This midnight-hued fabric grows heavy with devoured light, the perfect adornment for ostentatious grief and clandestine activity. And stained glass. The light of the high wilderness can enchant and derange. Colored glass helps keep it at bay. Good to know. What else you got? Traveler's Return, a gourd of chorister nectar. Question, there was something about chorister bees, if I recall correctly. For tea drinkers, it's a sweetener. For poets, an inebriant. For singers, it's an enhancement, widening the vocal range by a valuable semitone or two. I would love to have that. Unfortunately, I don't, so oh well. And actually, while I'm here, I don't actually have that much in the way of, almost said echoes, sovereigns. So we'll leave that for now. Petalful. The great debate of Titania is what should be done with Petalful. The squabbling artistic schools all have grand and entirely incompatible designs for the area. It's a scenic place at the end of the petal, where the Titanians can best appreciate the horizon. They've not built upon the foundations here yet, however, and they are saving it for a special purpose. What do they plan to do with this beautiful place? The petal tapers here, there's not much we can do, space is limited. It's contested ground. We've agreed that only the school with the most influence can build here. The best supported will be able to make the best use of it. The Celestials, as shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, wish to build an observatory. The Nocturnals want to build a light opera house. The Sovereigns a cathedral for their Empress. I'm excited for whatever it will be. I'm kind of inclined to the Celestials then. You know, observatories, cool. Opera houses, kinda neat. Cathedrals, eh. Anyway, what else you got? Posey Park. Also undeveloped. Here in Posey Park, Titania's inhabitants retire to relax and indulge. There are houses for tea and coffee, scenic bowers to rest beneath, and gardens of repose, reflection, and inspiration. The Titanians have built their pleasure district here. Scenes from rustic idyls play out around you, in the imported stretches of grass and piles of hay and beds of flower. What are their plans for improving their pleasure district, as you call it? She ambles around the pleasure district, waving at the Titanians you pass. The Celestials want to mine the possibilities of the epic poem form in an amphitheater. To give love poems a place to happen. The Nocturnals want a little pleasure palace. I think the Sovereigns want to build a pub, which I'm not sure I fully understand the reasoning for, but they seem to think it could help their songwriting. It shall depend on whichever you favor. I see. So we're going to be developing this port, sort of like what we did with Pigmote Isle back in Sunless Seas. Interesting. The Bloom Bower. Here the Titanians make their home, each built according to the aesthetic whims of its owner. Some are tall, others wide, a few are slim and curving, while others have wide voyeuristic windows. Here the Titanians keep their homes and private workshops. They're covered in moss, ivy, funguses, primroses. Tour Bloombower with the Rhapsodic Mare. What are the plans? I assume this is the place that I actually designed things for. You walk through the winding streets with the Rhapsodic Mare. We're starting small here, then branching outward. The Celestials suggest a ballroom for us, while the Nocturnals want a theater for their tragedies. The Sovereigns want a library. I'm overwhelmed by the possibilities. Think we could benefit from them all. Yes, that's the thing I just did. So, the construction? Work is underway on the Library of Yore. The historian's art will find no finer home than Titania. Delightful. I suppose that is it, then. At least for now. Okay. Well, I'll be visiting that place again. Unfortunately, the music's... Oh, there's back. It's back. And, oh god, it's not gone. Go. 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 Go, go, go. I was hoping that thing had disappeared. Anyway, let's send out our little bat, which is now eating our supplies. What? The settler from New Winchester staggers onto the bridge, clutching his throat. He appears to be in some distress. Indeed, hair sprouts like invasive weeds from every follicle in his body, forcing its way out strand by strand from all available orifices. Holy fuck, what the hell is that? I mean... Keep the body for study. The settler's exceedingly singular misfortune may yet prove a great boon to the fledgling science of interstellar pathology. Ahem. You ignore the looks your crew give you as you order the corpse taken to the cold storage. You'll take those with the hardiest stomachs for a more thorough examination later. For now, the mop and broom. Lost a settler. 2 hair. Okay, well, moving along. Yeah, screw you, Bat. Keep going out there. At least get us away from all the pollen. Now... Huh. Oh. Yeah, this is something I saw briefly when I was reviewing the footage for last episode. There's actually 4 regions. This is only one of them. We got Albion, where London is. And then we got these 2, the Blue Kingdom and Eleutheria. Which I'm not sure what those are. I mean, obviously the Blue Kingdom is a kingdom, and I expect that blue will be an important feature of said kingdom. Eleutheria, though, that... I'm curious, but matter for the future. Right now, actually, you know what? I'm curious. You see, back in Sunless Seas, if you went off the map, interesting but terrible things would happen to you. And while this is the early access, I'm curious if we'll see something similar here. I should also probably look at what all our menu options here are, but, well, I say, can't resist a chance to see what's out there. So, hello. You seem rather overgrown. Is there someplace for me to dock there? Apparently not. Still north and norther still. I actually should probably go a little bit to the northeast, shouldn't I? Try to get the... What the devil was her name? The fastidious inspector. There we are. Get her to where she needs to go. Although, has she fixed my clock? Well, suppose it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine, I suppose. Huh. Question, does anybody know if all stars are judgments? Because if that's so, this is actually rather horrifying. I'm not quite that deep into Fallen London and Sunless Sea lore, but that sounds like a possibility, and I wouldn't put it past them. Just have all the stars watching you, and actively trying to kill... Ah! Hello, place. But yes, having the stars actively trying to kill you is, well, it's a thing. Now we're back to the haze. Bah. Humbug. Balderdash, etc. Actually, I suppose I could check the border between regions, too. Couldn't I? Well, we'll deal with all that in just a moment. Got places to go, things to see. That looked like you were loading something in-game. And that looks ominous. Well, let's go right into those thick clouds. Oh, something that belongs to London, perhaps. Oh? The bridge's clock chimes twice quickly. This close to the Isambard line, time is devious. Ah, the Isambard line, that's where they sped ships along, using hours that they mined. What exactly am I looking at? Oh god. Oh, nope, that was too much. Too much strafing. Oh god, nope. Port Prosper. I mean, it's where I wanted to go, but, alright. It'd be nice if there was, like, a way to just gently strafe. But, anyway. Queen's Cross Station. I assume this is where she wants to be? Crammed at the feet of a hulking crag, Port Prosper is a little London, divided into an affluent West End and an impecunious East. Queen's Cross is its busy station, the terminus of the Isambard line that begins in a far-off London. Deliver the fastidious inspector, she disembarks with her bag in hand and peers up at a clock tower that is being raised above the station. Well, Yes. Huh. She disembarks with her bag in hand and peers up at a clock tower that is being raised above the station. It's tangled with scaffolding and rings with the sound of hammers and the cries of workmen. Accept our payment. Nothing else to do, really. Oh my, that is actually quite the payment right there. A satisfied customer. Thank you, Captain. Here's the balance of our agreement, and as promised, a requisition order for fuel and supplies. She casts another glance at the incomplete clock tower. Given the apparent state of construction, I'd recommend you visit the worksite. There may be an opportunity there. And thank you for the pleasant conversation, Captain. The sky can be a lonely place. You enlivened it. I've included a small additional sum in your remuneration, as a token of my gratitude. Oh. Oh, he says. The Albert clock. Again, they said there wasn't trade, but I'm seeing trade opportunities. A new clock tower. They plan to call it the Albert clock in memory of the departed prince consort, but there's a way to go yet. The roof isn't finished, and the clock neither ticks nor bongs. You see the fastidious inspector up among the workings with a spanner and a can of oil, showing the workmen how it's done. Ask what they need, perhaps you can secure it. Bronzewood, the foreman says bluntly. One consignment, they sell it at Port Avon, and Trader's Wood, I hear. And a pane of stained glass, too. New Winchester's your best bet there, or Titania, the flower town. We'll pay proper like. Interesting. We've other business, though. Oh. Interesting. The narrow streets of Port Prosper huddle in the shadow of a great crag. Bunting festoons the walkways. Banners display the stony features of her enduring majesty. Wealthy West Enders strut by, exchanging polite greetings and veiled gossip. Meanwhile, sooty East End workers file to the hour refining factories. Peeling posters promise fresh, wholesome lives in the reach to new arrivals, but many of the posters are years old. More newcomers arrive at Port Prosper than ever leave. Interesting. Oh. That is a fair point. I don't have any officers, do I? So, we will recruit the clay conductor. Goodness gracious, Captain, he lumbers towards your locomotive. What a fine engine. He shakes your hand firmly. It's like being grasped by an avalanche. All aboard, then. I simply cannot thank you enough for the opportunity, Captain. Seems nice for a clayman. Also a little bit more human than they usually appear. Wonder what the question... Oh. Hello. Character progression? Select a facet or deed. Huh. Also, apparently we have a default origin. I mean, we'll come back to this in just a moment. Well, actually, you know what? We'll do it now. The Somoggy streets. Almost said the soggy streets. You spent much of your youth in the hard end of London, where the gas lamps are scarce, the prospects bleak, and the people are as flinty as the cobbles. How'd you like it there? Hearts or irons, unless I'm much mistaken? Yes. Yeah. We'll see. An unlikely haul. Ooh. A week before your 13th birthday, when you would be driven from the urchin gang, you took part in a daring heist, which scored an unusual haul. Silent as cats, you burgled one of the grand gloomy mansions of old London. In a hidden attic, accessed by a stair concealed in the back of a rosewood wardrobe, you made your discovery of... Oh. A forbidden laboratory. It was crammed with clattering machinery. A chipped workbench was streaked with ruddy stains. Something coiled miserably in the oily contents of a bell jar. Ooh. Interesting. So we define our past... Ah. I see. Okay. So you define your past every level, and that presumably is supposed to increase your stats. Although I didn't pay attention to what my stats are, so I don't know. What? I'm sorry. Soul flaw flickering. What? Or fermented. What? Huh. I really need to explore the rest of these menus, but first there is story to attend to. Attend a private meeting at the Windward Company. A message was waiting with the station master. The envelope is crisp as a new banknote, the handwriting gilded and impossibly neat. Oh, you look charming. The office of the Windward Company on Port Prosper are elegantly appointed, if antiquated. Paintings of old London and the Z adorn the walls. The parsimonious chairman sits behind his mahogany desk, a decanter of brandy at his left hand and a series of neatly stacked reports at his right. A fire has been lit at the cavernous hearth. It is too warm. Listen to the parsimonious chairman's offer. The note came from him, a promised opportunity for profit, you say. He pours the brandy into 2 glasses. He produces a ruler from his desk to measure the amounts and adjusts accordingly. When he is, at last, satisfied, he hands you a glass. To business! When he smiles, he reveals the extensive damage to his teeth. I was a pugilist back in London, a young man's game. He invites you to join him by the window, where starlight dazzles the sloping streets of Prosper. A place like this is only kept safe by toil, you understand. The pioneers who built it, the politicians who funded it, the people who defend it from... His lip curls. The Tackities. Those who toil in such labor are rewarded. Proof is required, of course. Nameplates will do. We keep lists of their engines. Ah. You will hunt Tackity locomotives and provide their nameplates for the parsimonious chairman. I say. We will decline this. I'm not inclined to hunt down locomotives right now. The parsimonious chairman sighs like a man used to disappointment. He allows you to finish your brandy and even makes a few polite comments on the provenance. Eventually, he rings a little bell and his secretary appears to escort you out. My door, he says, is always open. I might return to that in the future. But we have a parade. It's apparently the Feast of the Red Saint. The Red Saint, you say? Gaudy banners fly over the painted rooftops of Port Prosper. The smog of the East End is hidden away by giant posters displaying dragons in varying degrees of vivisection. The cramped streets are clogged with people. Wealthy West Enders promenade about the amusements while impoverished East Enders work the stalls and huddle by the chestnut fires for warmth. A painted dragon pursued by knights is chased through the crowds to a chorus of Ho, the Riding. I'm going to mingle with... Yeah, I'm going to mingle with the East Enders. Lurking in the tents or manning the stalls in the side streets or scowling at the passing gentry, they seem more your level. Oi! A wide-eyed Eastender elbows his comrade somewhere under his jacket. Who's all this, then? A crowd gathers from out of the shadows. You're subjected to a number of looks that, if not quite filthy, are at least grubby. Eventually, the huddle disperses. The first Eastender extends a thin hand, lined and worn. It's a good sign you wanted to talk to us. You spend the afternoon watching vaudeville players satirize the Red Saint and his dragon in an out-of-the-way tent, followed by a hearty supper of roast chestnuts and almost palatable ale down by the station. Intriguing. Cheers go up from House to Heights, where a team of patriotic mountaineers have scaled the cliff and unveiled the Union Jack. Intriguing little place. The factories continue to belch out smoke, while over the bridge, hopeful crowds gather outside the Admiral Nelson. Lovers can be seen strolling arm in arm along the promenade, at a respectable distance from their chaperones. There was a brief protest outside the Windward Company factory, swiftly quelled. The scones at the Nelson were as good as ever, though the piquancy of the jam was less than might be desired. Hello, Port Prosper. What can we buy here, though? Fuel, obviously. And a caddy of dried tea, you say? As British as crinoline, or Lord Elgin's marbles. What is crinoline? Questions. Many questions. And it seems like a rather nice place. Was there anything else? No. No. And not just yet, thank you very much. Alright. Well. You know what? We have some time. Let's explore an idea. I'm really curious what exactly we will see if we go towards or beyond the edge of the map. Wouldn't be surprised if it's invisible walls for now, simply because it is early access. But At the same time, I mean, what's out there? It could be interesting things or terrible things. Nope, not the right button. There we are. I also want to check the border between regions. I mean, the region's unavailable, but... well... what exactly is there, perhaps? Perhaps there's something interesting. Perhaps there's nothing. Don't know. Either way, we have an autosave to go back to now that we docked, so... why not take the risk? Yeah, we'll go to the border first. Also, we get to see what else is out here. If anything. No, nothing around here. I can't tell if you're foreground or background. You're background. You, however, are not. Okay. I wonder if there's a way to mine for hours. Or if that's a planned feature. Well, you see, I never actually paid attention to what the stretch goals were for the Kickstarter. I find that it's sometimes disappointing, sometimes interesting, but usually spoils the experience for me. For some reason, not entirely sure why. But back out to the empty void, with the stars staring at us. Which, I suppose for some people it's calming, but again, I know what could be each of those stars, and, well, it's a little unsettling. It is a tad unsettling when you know more about the setting. Oh. Huh. So there's not nothing. There's just empty space. I suppose that does make sense. But then what about if we went beyond? Come. There's places to be, things to do, questions to answer. I wonder. Well, we'll see in a moment. Well, I should rephrase that. You guys will see in a moment. I'm just gonna sit here and watch what happens for a few minutes before we call it quits. Well, alright then. It seems that we can actually go beyond these little circles with no ill effects. It's just that all the actual content of the early access is in the reach, which is this little circle over here. Interesting. I wonder if that's going to stay the case and they're going to put places outside of those little regions. Or if something really bad is going to happen if you are foolish enough to do exactly what I just did. I'm intrigued, but, well, it's a thing for the future, among other things. Perhaps we'll try to kill some other trains next time. Or perhaps we won't. Actually... oh. Well, hopefully my autosave is back at that port and not somewhere out in the depths of the reach. We'll find out next episode. But for now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly, and I shall see you all soon.